Hua, the four enhancers of Flying Stars Zi Wei Dou Shu Astrology. One of the unique features of the Flying Stars Zi Wei Dou Shu Astrology is the four enhancers that fly out from the 12 palaces. These four enhancers are called the Si Hua. Si means four, and Hua means supplying or giving. So the four different types of Si Hua are Hua Lu, which is the flow enhancer, Hua Zi, which is the negative enhancer, Hua Ke is the fame enhancer, and Hua Chuan is the power enhancer. At a foundational level, one gets to see three different types of Si Hua, as you can find them on your Zi Wei Dou Shu chart. These three are birth year Si Hua, self enhancer or self Si Hua, and the four enhancers that fly out from the 10 heavenly stems found in the 12 palaces. This information allows a Zi Wei Dou Shu practitioner to view and calculate the various 144, to be precise, palatial dimensions for proper analysis. Now you may ask, how does one get 144 dimensions from a date and time of birth? Now here is how I'm going to give you some details as to how you plot the chart and the dynamic information revealed from the life map reading. A Zi Wei Dou Shu practitioner works with all these enhancers to assess and analyze activities, situations, forecasting, and remedies to mitigate adverse outcomes. Now, I use this information to coach my clients how to redesign their destiny. To plot a Zi Wei Dou Shu chart, I need your date of birth and time of birth. So from these two pieces of information that you provide, I can plot three different charts for Zi Wei Dou Shu. One is your natal birth chart. Second is your decade Zi Wei Dou Shu chart. And the third chart reveals your annual Zi Wei Dou Shu plotting of the stars. Now, as you know, there are 12 palaces on your Zi Wei Dou Shu chart. Each palace on your chart has 4 Si Hua, flyouts that are created, and this is how you get 144 palatial dynamics for deeper assessment of your life map. So 12 palaces times 4 Si Hua gives you 48 dimensions, and then 48 dimensions multiplied by 3 charts give you 144 palatial dimensions. There are 3 main functions of these 4 enhancers in Zi Wei Dou Shu astrology. First, Si Hua enhances or transforms Zi Wei Dou Shu star's quality and characteristics. Second, it stimulates the strength of the stars in the palace that we are looking at. Third, Si Hua activates the interconnection between palaces and stars. Zi Wei Dou Shu stars are neutral in their effect, which means that they are neither good or bad by default. It is the Si Hua that transforms the quality of the stars and activates the palaces and the stars. The 4 enhancers have a deep connection with the Hetu diagram and numerology formation. The concepts keep Hua Lu and Hua Zi together, Hua Ke and Hua Quan together. Each enhancer belongs to one of the 5 elements that come from the 5 elemental theory concept. Hua Lu belongs to the metal element, or Hua Lu has metal element. Hua Quan is the fire element, Hua Ke is the wood element, and Hua Zi is from the water element. Each of the 4 enhancers have connections with the earth element, referred to as the emperor, like the Zi Wei, the emperor. Let me explain what this means. So let's talk about Hua Lu to begin with. Hua Lu is the metal element in the 5 elemental energy theory. The metal element is born from earth. Earth gives birth or yields metal. That's what it means. So it refers to something that the emperor likes or enjoys and feels good about. The interpretation could be emotional, smooth, flowing, desirable, affectionate, resources, resourcefulness, talkative, something that the emperor likes or the native enjoys. It could also mean abundant or even fat in appearance. Interpretation depends on, of course, the palaces and the stars being activated, and of course, the interpalatial dynamics. Second, let's talk about Hua Quan. Hua Quan is the fire element in the fire elemental energy theory. Now, fire births or produces earth. It is akin to imperial general who leads the military, a person relied on by the emperor to win the battle, and thus maintains a glorious kingdom. Therefore, Hua Chuan refers to fire, which involves power and action, competition, winning the war. The interpretation could be of power, authority, supremacy, leadership, talents, capabilities, sometimes loneliness, at times, of course, because as a leader, as an emperor, you're at the top of the game, you are lonely, so you have to deal with that concept as well. It could also mean lump sum or strong and big. Then up next, I want to talk about Hua Ke. Hua Ke is the wood element. Wood counters earth in the five elemental energy theory concept. However, the earth element or the emperor has a higher or top ranking or status. The term here, which means wood counters, it refers to the wood element slowing Earth's action or movement or growth. Metaphorically, it refers to the imperial scholars who often advised the emperor during imperial times in China. Advising requires wisdom and politeness and tact as well. It is offered to the emperor, especially when convincing the emperor to change his or her mind or decision making process. It also requires tact, and if tact is not used, such advice would be treated as a threat or challenge to the emperor's supreme power. Therefore, Hua Ke refers to wisdom and guidance offered to the emperor or to the native. Um, the interpretation could be status, reputation, fame, elegance, documents, ceremony, reasonable concepts, reasonable personality, knowledge of the native, politeness in the personality, or tact. It is sometimes also referred as small or slim concepts. Last, we're going to talk about Hua Zi. Hua Zi is of the water element in the five elemental energy concept. Earth counters water or creates a blockage in the flow of water. It refers to the matters or things that the emperor dislikes or the native dislikes. It often causes anxiety and obstacles, and thus the emperor is eager to get rid of it. Zi refers to the situations, items, things, and the emperor is not fond of or the native doesn't like. The interpretation could be obstacles, anxiety, disputes, risks, unfavorable aspects or conditions, jealousy, stubbornness, behaviors, problems in life, thin or scarcity factors. A lot of times we also look at the auspiciousness of the four enhancers. In interpreting the four enhancers, one may perceive or you may think that, three out of these four are good or positive and one is negative. So Hua Lu, Hua Chen, and Hua Ke are good, whereas Hua Zi is always bad. Well, that's not necessarily the case because depending upon an individual and their circumstances, this could be totally different concept. It is just a surface level interpretation, and at a beginning level of flying star Zi Wei Dou Shu techniques, the four enhancers are, however, always changing combinations. When one enhancer meets with another, it carries various interpretations and meanings. which I analyze and discuss in my life map reading and coaching programs. I hope you've enjoyed today's video, and this is Gagan Sarkaria, your high achievement business coach, signing off.